I'll polish the leaves, make them green again, shake out the trees. Ain't seen again, spring cleaning, getting ready for love. Dust off the wintry bowers, wash them off with April showers. Cover them with fragrant flowers, shine up the silvery moon. 'Cause spring cleaning, getting ready for love.
Make the most of your backyard with Canadian Tire.
Chests of drawers and dressers are one of my favorite things to buy at an antiques market or an open-air flea market.
That's great. I've never seen drawers like this. That I much prefer.
First of all, if you're going to buy an antique, chances are it's made of solid wood. Whereas if you buy a new piece, I'm guessing it's going to be particle board wood.
With Fiber One bars as your first step to healthy living, the only thing between you and your second step is delicious taste. New oats and caramel bars. Fiber One is step one. With Fiber One honey clusters as your first step to healthy living, the only thing between you and your second step is delicious taste. Fiber One is step one.
Sarah speaking.
There's another offer.
Wait. We've been trying to get in touch with them and present this offer for 2 days. How could there suddenly be another offer now? Ever dream of buying a house, gutting it, and rebuilding so it's perfectly you? Well, I'm doing just that. I bought a house, I'm renovating it room by room, making the most of every dollar. Stick with me. I'll show you how to get the home you want. Here's my challenge. I'm hunting for a house I can fix up, put my own touches on, and make a wise investment. I've just got to find the right candidate in the right neighborhood at the right price. And that's not easy. Look at this. And the can opener
attached to the wall.
You can be talking on the phone, looking up a number, and opening it again at the same time.
While you're cooking dinner for your husband to come home
I don't
from
know if
work.
this is the house for me, but I kind of love it. Buying a fixer-upper and doing the renovation yourself will not only get you the house of your dreams, but it's always better value than paying for someone else's reno. Sexy. Because someone else's idea of a reno, this is a place for someone who likes the dark and has a lot of stuff to store, isn't always a keeper. Calling all nocturnal pack rats, have we got the house for you? Time for a plan.
Well, I looked to see if there were any old dogs that have been sitting out there and sitting.
My real estate agent, Kara.
And there's a couple that I think might fit that description.
I want to find something that hasn't been touched by a renovator's anything. I want something with charm, with potential.
It's tough to find something out there that I think is going to work.
I'm seeing everything says renovated.
Those real unpolished, untouched gems are so hard to find, and when they do come up, not only do you want them, everyone else who watches the design shows who thinks they can do it themselves also wants those.
So is it my fault? Did I do this?
You know exactly what you're doing.
Should we have only done this show once, Kara? Come on, people, sell your houses. But even in this tough market,
detached is good.
More to look at.